John, I would tell you that we received numerous calls throughout this community, not just in Warrensville, outside of Warrensville, about the potential suspect. Those leads have combined with the other agencies that help us, were able to narrow down exactly how we got here today. And so it just didn't come from just a few people. It came from, you'd be surprised how many people called.
They had to have struck a chord here in this community not to have had anything for so long and then to have something like this happen. What has it taught you about the people of the community and their willingness to help you all out in this effort?
Well, I think it tells us, and there's no question that people care about their community. They do. But I would tell you that people were fearful. They're very fearful. This is, when Chief Haynes said it's a very dangerous person, a very dangerous person. And so at this point in time, there's so much concern that they weren't afraid to say, hey, look in this direction, here it is. This suspect seems to be well known in the community in which he resides. And so we're thankful for the other agencies because they really have stepped up big time to assist our police department. First, let me thank the men and women of the Warrensville Heights Police Department for their diligence and efforts here, because I don't think the guys have really slept since last Thursday.
Is there a past rap sheet for Mr. Shine,
He has a lengthy rap sheet
including
going all the way back to his juvenile.
something as serious as murder?
No.
But robbery, what else?
Robbery, assaults. Okay. Yes.
And what was it that, can you help us to understand what was it in your leads that led you to believe that this was him and the connection he has with the barbershop?
It's part of our investigation.
Okay.
Yes.
Tonight at the vigil, there was a lot of discussion about people knowing what was going on, but were too afraid to come forward about snitching. I guess, what message would you have for those people who are afraid or who, say, snitching is not what they do?
My message to them is that when something tragic like this happens and you lose lives, that snitching should go out the window, because you have loved ones, you have families, you have fathers, you have parents, they lost their loved ones. And you want to withhold that information because you don't want to be called a snitch. I think that if it was somebody in their family, they would want that information to be known.
Here, let us be clear. There are a lot of people that lost their lives that night. We believe there was only one person that was intended to lose their life. And we had 2 others lose their life, with 3 others getting injured. And in that barbershop that night were families, little children. I think that's what sparked the nerve around this community, because they know, people out of this community know, for anything that could have been them.
How many people were inside at the time?
That is part of the ongoing investigation. But there are enough to know that there were a multitude of people. Because the calls we got, it was just a number of calls, and obviously a lot of people did not want to identify themselves. They were enough to tell you, this is what we think. This is what we think went down.
Have there been problems at that barbershop before, prior to this?
No.
When we talked last week, or in the early hours, it looked like everyone in the building was shot that night, but obviously there's an indication that there were others there who left the scene, I would imagine, then?
Correct.
Any idea how many, or just?
I don't have a number for you, sir.
Have you been able to gain anything from the surveillance tapes that you've looked at in the time since?
That's part of our investigation.
You may or may not have any idea of this, but the name chalk lines, is that supposed to be some sort of thug kind of like a chalk line of a body? Or do you have any idea?
Actually, it's an oxymoron, really. Mm-hmm. Really, a chalk line is a type of haircut and shave. In our community, if you want a real tight line, then it's called a chalk line. And that's how you get a tight beard line or a tight
line up.
Right. But yeah, when you see it, when you see it, the ordinary layperson is going to think of a chalk line.
Okay.
So what's next in the investigation?
We're hoping that we get tips on this Shine's location, and we can bring him to justice.
Any indication that he's still in the area?
We believe he's still in the area.
What gives you that indication?
we have our futures task force in the area searching for him, and we done received calls that he's still in the area. Thank you.